Hi, you guys. Hi. Um, this is my first time it's not my first time doing a YouTube live, but it's my first time doing a YouTube live publicly. So we're going to see how it goes. I was just laying in bed. Tomorrow is tomorrow my kids are going back to school. I'm so excited. It's like the most wonderful time of the year, except it's also the most chaotic. Like it's like the most wonderful time of the year, and then also the craziest time of the year. There's so much going on, so much stuff. I actually feel like May is kind of like this too. Maybe it's like August and May. It's like beginning of school and end of school. So anyway, I'm Whitney English. If this is your first time watching me on a video live, a few years ago, I created a planner called The Day Designer, and launched it on Etsy. It sold really well. And then a company contacted me and wanted to license it to put it in Target. And so we collaborated on that for a while. And then they wanted to grow it and put it in Staples and Office Depot and all these other places. And I had been working for a really long time and just said, you know what, I don't really have the capacity right now in my personal life to take the company that far. And if you guys would like to do that, buy the company. And they did. And my husband and I have just been in this season the past couple of years of lots of flux. Like there's been, my friends jokingly, like I'll announce that we're moving on Instagram, and they're like, you move a lot. We have moved a lot in the past 4 years, but we're not moving. We're staying right here. We're still unpacking, as you can see by the pile of stuff behind me, but we're not moving. So I really feel like this is the first time since we moved out of our like forever house 4 years ago. Was it 4 years? 4.5 years ago, that I've had an office. So get used to this background. You're going to be seeing it a lot. So a lot of times I have friends call me and say, I need a planner. I need to plan. I need to organize my life. I need to structure my schedule. Help me, Whitney, help me. And so I thought I would start doing some YouTube videos and just keep it really basic. You can call me Whit. I have also decided that my parents have never called me Whit. The only two people that call me Whit are my best friend from high school and my mother-in-law. I don't know why it's those two people, but those are the only two people. But we're going to call these sessions Plan with Whit, because I'm going to show up without makeup on and my hair like fallen out of a ponytail. And because that's how I do my planning, is really casual and just, come as you are. And so that's what you're going to get. And so I'm going to call it Plan with Whit, because that's casual and come as you are. Right. So I have a pile of current planning tools that I'm going to walk you through, as well as some notes. I'm going to keep this video pretty high level because I want it to be kind of an introductory session. I actually have some notes right here. It's funny. I use blank pages in my Day Designer. So this is a Day Designer. These are the planners that the sun just went behind the clouds and it got a little dark. This is the planner that I created in 2012, kind of started working on it in 2010 and launched it in 2012. And it has been my go-to ever since then. So I have some notes to share with you guys. Okay, so top level, let's start really big picture here. Why plan? I wanted to start there. What's the point of planning? And I think the people that are attracted to planning are people who appreciate a sense of control. I think we all have within us. I know we all have within. Now it's too bright. Oh my goodness. The sun needs to figure out what it's going to do. We're just going to leave it like that. We all have a need for certainty, but then we all have a desire for variety in our lives. And I see this in myself all the time, where I'm like, I have to plan everything down to the very last minute. Like that's a drive, like a need for certainty. And then I'll break that. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't do all this stuff. I just need to take a break. Life doesn't have to be this structured. And I feel myself drawn back to this need for variety. But in general, those of us who enjoy planning and like to plan and rely on different planning methods as tools to help us organize our lives, we're looking for control, structure, some organization. I personally plan to help me visualize end results, like really picture where I want to end up, and just help me break things down and figure out what next steps I need to take. But I really want to see the end results. And another reason why I plan is because planning helps me synthesize information. So a lot of times people will ask me how I transfer my to-do list in my Day Designer from day to day, and I rewrite it. Because I think rewriting stuff, first of all, when you're rewriting your to-do list, if you find yourself writing down the same thing for the 20th day in a row, you're gonna stop and question whether or not that thing actually needs to be on your to-do list. And if you keep moving it from day to day, maybe you just need to call the person who's expecting you to do that thing or that task to be accomplished and just be like, you can't expect me to do this. Like, I'm sorry. Like, just gonna draw a boundary right there and just say this isn't, and I've done that before in my life. I think learning to say no is something that comes with maturity and learning to set boundaries. But one of the ways that I say no to people is I just say, I realize I have seriously overcommitted in life right now, and I'm not going to be able to deliver the kind of results or to the standard that I would want to be able to feel good about completing that task for you. And people never, ever look at me and say, oh, you should just overwhelm your schedule. I don't care if you're overcommitted. Overcommits, people are very kind whenever you just say, like, look, I can't deliver on this the way you would want me to, or the way I would be able to be proud of following through on that. So when I rewrite my to-do list, that's something that happens is it kind of helps me. I'm a big believer in why remember it when you can write it down. So I write down a ton of stuff, but then I also completely allow myself to forget things. So I have a sweet friend who helps me with business stuff sometimes, and I'll be talking to her and she'll say like, oh, well, no, we talked about that. Remember? I'm like, I was either thinking you were going to remember it or I wrote it down, so I wasn't going to have to remember it. So rewriting my to-do list every single day helps me synthesize that information and bring next steps to top of mind. Okay. Another question I get from people all the time is how to prioritize. And there are different ways to do that. But one of the main ways I do that is with the HEART acronym, and I call this HEART goals. And so this is kind of a very basic 101 introduction to that. If you've never heard of HEART goals before, you've probably heard of SMART goals because corporate America got a hold of that thing in 1981 and just wrote it to town. But HEART goals, the acronym for HEART stands for help yourself, which is your physical needs, empower yourself, which is your mental, emotional, and spiritual needs, all your people, which is your relational needs, your resources and responsibilities, which that's your financial and stewardship category, and then very lastly, trade. So if I'm having a bad day or a bad week, actually, let's just go with a bad day or a bad morning or a bad afternoon, I can really quickly run through that acronym in my head, and it very quickly reveals to me where I've been off balance in life and what I need to do to rebalance. So I do that sometimes twice a day, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, just whenever I feel like stuff is starting to get out of control. I just go back to H. I'm like, have I helped myself? Like, have I had enough water, enough movement? Am I eating healthy foods? Am I getting enough sleep? And if I cannot answer yes to all four of those questions, then I probably need to start there with rebalancing. And then as soon as I'm rebalancing, I'm operating from more of an optimum state, and I'm able to get more done. So that's how I prioritize. And I mean, I'll even do that, like if my kids are running around, like this is, like I just said, this is a crazy day. My husband and kids are in the other room. I was like, I'm going to record a YouTube video and I don't know how you're going to manage this, but you're going to have to be quiet for an hour. But they get it. They understand that I've given a lot to them this weekend and it's time for me to do some work-related things. And then another thing, I just took a bubble bath right before I started my planning and started this YouTube video. So really just kind of balancing all that stuff is what keeps me going, and just remembering that a prioritized life is a successful life. Okay, so the next thing on planning is thinking about weekly versus daily. This is another question I get, and my answer to that is just, what season are you in? And your seasons can change, and so sometimes your planner may need to change even mid-year. I know we typically think that, like, oh, I'm going to buy a planner on January 1st and I'm going to use it, for the entire year. But if your season changes mid-year, and by season I don't mean like the literal seasons, but just the speed with which you're operating in life changes, you may find that you need to adjust your planner. So an example of this is a daily planner, like the Day Designer, where you have your schedule on one side and your to-do list on the other. It's going to be really great for people who are in really hectic seasons. If you have a lot of appointments to schedule on a daily basis, I would say more than 3 appointments, you might want a daily. If you have more than 3 major to-dos, you might want to, on a consistent basis, you might want a daily planner. I have had seasons where I use daily, and I have seasons where I skip entire days and I feel like I'm wasting a whole planner because I have blank sheets, and I do go back and use them for notes. Like I told you, I've got my notes written in my planner about this webinar. But historically, the reason I created Day Designer is because I needed my schedule on one side and my to-do list on the other, and there was not a planner like that on the market. And I needed a way to figure out how to control my life and just balance everything out. And so Day Designer really helped me get out of a busy season and into more of a comfortable pace in life. It helped me rebalance from that standpoint. And now I use that HEART acronym to basically stay balanced in life. So a weekly planner is going to be good for those of you who, and I feel like I'm kind of going into a weekly season. I've been using my Day Designer so far this year, but with my kids starting school, we're not homeschooling this. Well, we are going to homeschool one kid. She's in school and then she's not in school. Like, it's this half and half program, but I'm not homeschooling 3 kids. And so our schedule is going to change a lot. And I think I'll probably be moving to a weekly planner. I have a weekly here that I can talk about in a second. And then there's another thought on planning, and I've done this at times too. I could have done this for this summer. I didn't, but it's just having a monthly, sometimes all you need is, and this is a printout. I'm going to tell you about this in a second too. But sometimes all you need is just your monthly overview. So for like a season like summer, where you have a lot of vacation planned or there's not a lot of structure, my friend Julie said to me the other day that summer is like just a puzzle. It's like, what kid is going to what camp, when, where, how am I keeping all these people busy and out of my hair? And for that, there's not a lot of daily to-dos. We plan a lot of stuff as a family, like fun little things to go do, like go grab ice cream or see a movie or whatever. But I don't need a weekly or a daily. I just need my monthly overview for a season like that. So it just depends on what season you're in. Okay, next question I get is, a lot of times, this is people who, like friends will call me and be like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm planning. They're like, oh, is that all you do all the time is plan? But there's different types of planning. And I don't always use, just a calendar type planner to do that. So there's meal planning. There's planning for work. I do a lot of planning for work on my computer. My husband and I share a Mac calendar, and I have to do some syncing up. Again, I believe in writing things down because it gets when you write things down, you don't have to remember them. And actually, when you write things down, it allows your brain to synthesize that information and kind of take it from all that information like that floats around as a to-do list in the front of your head. It allows you to tuck it back into your subconscious. Now, retrieving it can sometimes be hard, hence the writing it down. Everything's in our brain. Like it's not the storage that's a problem, it's the retrieval that's a problem. Isn't that interesting? But I do a lot of work planning, and then I have to sync to a paper calendar. And a lot of times I think we all kind of know, like the iPhone came out and we were all like, oh, I'm going to go paperless. I'm going to go digital. And here we are like 10 plus years later. We're like, that doesn't work. Like I still have to have paper exhibit A, you know? So work planning, fitness planning, just like for your health, things like that. I have a friend, well, I'll tell you about that later. It's kind of a surprise. I can't tell you right now. Social media planning, that is actually, I started, this is a 2019 Day Designer Planner. This is one of the ones that they had, I think it was at Target. And I started my social media plan this year in this. I didn't actually carry it through, so I am going to talk to you. This is one of my favorite covers ever. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. It's so beautiful. Okay. And then financial planning, like budget and stuff like that. So I don't do all of those. And there's all kinds of other, like this kids' schedules and things like that, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Back to school planning, which isn't an ongoing thing, but it's something that I think it's super fun to structure and talk about. Okay, so what else? Okay, good segue. I'm going to jump to back to school planning. I feel like I need my kids to go back to school so that I can plan. I just need 5 minutes of peace and quiet. But on my back to school planning list, I have a list of 9 things that you need to kind of check the box on for back to school. So some of these are going to be before school. And then some of these, if you have kids that are going back to school, it's going to be easier for you to go, I'll just do that when they're back in school. I haven't done all this yet, but this is the list. Number 1, doctor's appointments. So I think through this I kind of run through this little list at the beginning of every year, and then back to school is another time to run through your doctor's appointments list. So in the back of my planner, I keep a list of like dentist, orthodontist, pediatricians for well checks, urgent care doctors, dermatologist, eye doctors. My boys have glasses, so eye doctors are super important. I can't even remember everything that's on the list, but my husband's super helpful. He is great about taking the kids to the doctor's appointment. He's just really good at that. So we sat down at the beginning of the summer and we were like, okay, what appointment, so we're just going to line them up and knock them all out. So all the appointments are made. Oh, like a therapist appointment. So I need to go back and get, check in with my therapist, and there's all kinds of doctors and medical appointments and stuff like that just, it's so easy to forget about that stuff. Okay, so that's thing number 1 on back to school planning. Thing number 2 is extracurricular activities. There's Mariana. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so extracurricular activities. We haven't done extracurricular activities in the past. My kids are all very close in age, and so typically if the oldest one starts something, the other 2 kind of go along with it. And so sometimes we have to wait for the younger ones we have done like soccer and some stuff like that in the past, but this is the first year where I feel like we're going to have like a normal schedule. So extracurricular activities have to be investigated and scheduled. We have to figure out what's going to work. And then I need a place to record those people, like the coaches and the leaders and things like that, their phone numbers. And I have a friend the other day that was like, well, why are you going to write all those phone numbers down on your planner when you could just keep them in your phone? I don't know. It just helps. Like if my planner's at home and my husband's like, well, where's the ballet teacher's phone number? I can be like, go look at the list in the back of my planner. like if you forget your phone or if your phone breaks, or I love having a backup. I don't trust digital as much as I think we all sort of feel like we do. I mean, I just don't trust it. Like I lost a ton of photos the other day, like really important photos. Because anyway, I uploaded them to Walmart.com and I thought I could order prints, and I didn't order prints in the right amount of time, and I deleted them off my computer, and Walmart deleted the order without even telling me about it, which is a bummer. Okay. Can't cry over spilt milk. So I just don't trust digital. Thing number 3 on back to school planning, teacher information. So again, this, for my kids, this is like, I need their email address, I need their phone number. I want this all in one place. I don't sit down and enter all this stuff on my phone every time I meet a teacher. I also want to record their favorites. At our school, they do a little thing where sometimes they like pass around a sheet or whatever, but sometimes I just ask the teacher, like, what's your favorite candy, or what's your favorite TV show, or what's your favorite fast food restaurant, or what's your favorite Starbucks drink, or anything like that. So this year I'm going to use, in my flagship Day Designer, we have these, and let me show you these notes pages. And I'm probably going to use one of these, probably what I'm going to do. Well, I can't find one. They're kind of sprinkled throughout, and they sort of have 3 columns on them. And so I'm just going to put all, each teacher is going to have a column, and I'm going to put their favorites on there and keep track of that and their contact information. Okay, thing number 4 on back to school planning, clothes. My kids do uniforms, thankfully. So we actually order the uniforms when they're on sale. So I actually think we ordered the uniforms at Christmas time when Lands' End had a sale. So we're good on clothes. Didn't have to stress about that, but you could always check like socks, underwear. My sister wears my daughter wears these like shorts, modesty shorts, things like that. Any extracurricular clothes you're going to need, like sporting uniforms or athletic wear, things like that, would be a good time to check. Also supplies. We've switched schools this year, and shockingly, we have to buy very few school supplies for our kids. All the curriculum and tools and stuff is provided. They told me this. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm like, this is the Ritz-Carlton of schools. So I guess it's just easier for them to just say, we're going to get all this and do it all in one blow. And it makes sense to me. And then we get, we pay for it still, but we're not having to go shop for it. I mean, thank goodness for Amazon though. Even if we did, it's just like, okay, I need 3 pencil boxes. I need 3 pencil bags. So clothes and supplies obviously are super important. But on that note, so is cleaning out. And so cleaning out is my 6th thing on back to school planning. So number 4 is clothes, number 5 is supplies, number 6 is clean out. The best way to clean out my kids' stuff, I have found, is when I'm folding laundry, which is something they don't like to do or help with. But actually I did make my boys fold laundry yesterday. They were driving me crazy, and I was like, this is the consequence. You're going to stand around, you're going to fold laundry. And one of my sons picked up a shirt that was my daughter's shirt and was like, is this too small for her? I was like, it is. Go put it in the giveaway box. So they kind of have gotten they've kind of gotten the picture that I sort of start to clean out their clothes whenever I'm folding them. That's when things kind of disappear, but it just makes it easier, especially with my daughter. So cleaning out. And then another thing that we've done this year is we have maintained 2 homes for the past couple of years. We thought we were going to build, and then we needed a place in the city, and then we didn't build, and then we decided we needed to move back to the city for school for the kids. And for the first time in 4 years, we don't have 2 homes. Hallelujah. It's so nice. I do, however, have 2 of everything, and my neighbors make fun of me. I'm like, oh, I have you need an extra electric fence for your dog? Do you need an extra set of queen size sheets? It's ridiculous. So anyway, I also need to clean out the supplies. And if you could see the rest of my office, you can see this right here, but we're totally in clean out mode over here. And it's just some stuff I can do really quickly, but some stuff just takes time. So I'm looking forward to my kids being back in school so that I have time to focus on some of these piles that I've got sitting around here. Okay, next thing on number 7 on back to school is back to school pictures. I mentioned that I lost some really important photos recently, which made me really sad, but also makes me want to prioritize back to school pictures. So my friend Denise has this cute little like school memory binder thing that comes with signs. Of course, I can't find it. We just got done moving. I'm sorry, Denise, if you're watching us. But so I haven't decided. Back to school's tomorrow. I haven't decided what we're going to do for back to school signs. Like this is, first day of first grade, whatever. I guess I could like send my husband to Target or something and get a chalkboard or whatever. But we'll figure something out. It'll be super cute no matter what. And the thing is, we just need to document that. And then big on my priority list this year is going to be printing more pictures. Again, don't trust the digital stuff. So back to school pictures is number 7. Number 8 on planning for back to school is lunchbox ideas. My kids flip-flop between wanting to order lunch at school and pack their own lunches. Right now they're on ordering lunch from school. I guess they're tired of eating at home all summer long. I think that'll probably change in a little bit. So we don't need any lunchbox ideas right now. But again, that's a good thing to use like a notes sheet in your planner. I wish I could find a little notes section in my data center. Okay, here's one. Ironic, I just turned to one. But like these little pages are sprinkled throughout, and you could just like grab a little sticky flag or something like that and put some lunchbox ideas right there. And then the 9th thing, and the most important, is the school schedule and just getting all the things, from the extracurricular activity things to, our school hands out a schedule at the beginning of the year so we know what the dates for everything are, and then plugging those into your planner. So I've already plugged mine into my Mac calendar, and I will have to plug in on my paper planner. I'll probably do it as I go. I typically look about 5 months out. So that concludes the topic of back to school planning. And there was one other thing I was going to show you and talk to you about. Here's another like basic planning tip. A lot of times people start talking about stickers and washi and things like that. I don't think you have to have stickers and washi. I am not a stickers and washi person. I have these right now. I'm very obsessed with this pen. It's a Day Designer pen that they sold at Target, and it's been my favorite. I have a ton of Pilot G2s. These used to be my favorite. They're actually not my favorite anymore. I'm a big fan of, let's see if I've got one here. These pens called Tool. But I do colored pens. I only have 2 orange ones here. I'm definitely due for a reorder on the pens, because my daughter likes to color with a color pen, so she comes and swipes them. But we color code. We have a color for each kid, so that helps me keep track of stuff on the calendar. And then you can color code school versus work versus personal. You can color code by project, things like that. So I do color coding more than I do stickers and washi, as just a planning basic. So hopefully that helps those of you who might be watching this video because you're just getting started. Okay. And then, so I've talked about daily versus weekly. I've got my weekly that I'm probably going to use a little bit. I showed you the daily, talked a little bit about that. Okay, so this is, I made this on the computer today, and I guess I could share this as a printable in my printable shop, but it's totally a blank thing. I'm big on the Monday start. I just don't like splitting up my weekends. This is my week. My week starts on Monday. I can prep on Sunday for the rest of the week like I'm doing today, but my week starts on Monday, not Sunday. So I'm really big on a monthly overview, having Monday start. So this, I just made this today, but basically, I guess I could just call it the next 5 weeks. So I'm halfway between August and September, and I need to look about 5 weeks out. And I noticed this the other day whenever I was planning for August, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. I know. But then all of a sudden you have to turn pages to go to September. And I'm like, this doesn't work. And I believe in writing things down because it helps me synthesize things and helps me process them and helps me figure out what next steps need to be. So I just made this today, and it's August through September. And I've got my weeks here. Like, this is the week of 8/12 all the way through the week of 9/16. And I just wrote down the major things that I have to do. I am very excited about a couple things. I'm going to say all this and then I'm going to wrap up. And thank you guys for taking the time to watch, and let me know if you want links to anything and any other videos you want me to do on planning, because I love this stuff and I'm so excited about my kids going back to school. This is all I want to do is plan right now. But on the week of 8/26, Monday, 8/26, I am doing an hour-long coaching session each day. So it's a weekly series of 5 live events. They're going to be, I think they're going to be on YouTube Live. I think they're going to be right here. But I'm going to be walking people through, it's called Back to Business, and I'm going to be walking you through how to use the HEART acronym to balance your life and achieve your dreams when it comes to business. So it will definitely be life related, but the reason I'm calling it Back to Business is because like our kids are back to school. So like, okay, we have to get back in our group too. And whether or not we work for ourselves or somebody else, like that's back to business for most of us mamas. So I'm really excited about that. That's going to be the week of the 26th through the 30th. It's going to be live. It's going to be free to attend live, but then I'm going to sell the recordings later. So make sure you catch it live if you want to watch it. The recordings will be available for like 24 hours after each one of them. And then the next exciting thing I have, and I can tell you all this because I have it all here on this little handy dandy next 5 weeks planner thing I made this morning. On September 3rd, Tuesday, September 3rd, I am going to be doing my first Plan with Wit. I'm going to be doing some planning workshops this fall on the first Tuesday of every month. And I'm going to start doing them here on YouTube, most likely. I guess I could also like set my iPad up with Facebook Live or something like that. But I just kind of want to try out YouTube and just see how it feels. But on the first Tuesday of every month, I'm going to be doing the Plan with Wit at 10 a.m. Central Time. So that's going to start on the 3rd, September 3rd, 2019. And I am also going to be talking about how I use HEART goals to balance my life and achieve my dreams, and how you can do that too. And then on the week of September 9th, on September 9th, 9/9/19, I am launching for the last time, for the final time, the Biz Designers course. It's a business course that I redesigned and re-recorded earlier this year. I think I re-recorded it like in February. We launched it in the spring. I'm going to be releasing it for the last time. After that, I'm going to figure out, the content, what I'm learning is that when it comes to business and social media strategy and content planning, and like everything is changing so rapidly. The tools that got us all started 5 years ago are not the same tools that people need to use to get started today. And so I just feel like in order to provide the most value for my clients, I need to figure out a different way to keep all of that information more up to date. So I'm going to be changing the format of that. So the course is going to launch for the last time it's going to start I don't know when it's going to launch, but it's probably like this week. We'll probably open the card on it this week, but it's going to start the week of I do live events during the course. So that's going to be on September 9th. And then last but not least, and I'm only going 5 weeks out, I've got some stuff beyond this I'm really excited about, but I can't share what it is just yet. But on Tuesday, September 17th, 2019, I'm launching the 2020 edition of HEART Goals. So that framework, that system that I use to balance my life and help me make progress on achieving my dreams is I do a little mini course. I did it last year. It was awesome. And annually I do that, revise the information, update it, and that course is going to be launching on September 17th. So that's everything. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. I guess I should say that you should subscribe. You should subscribe. You should subscribe to me, because if you subscribe, then the next time I hop on here and do a very random YouTube Live, I wonder, I was about to ramble. Never mind. You'll get notified. So thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments what you need, and I'll see you guys around.